Okay, hey everyone, it's been a quick minute. I've had a lot of changes in my personal life and I've just kind of gotten off track. So here I am. Continuing aspects of the face. So I'm going to talk about, I do believe we talked about the eyes last time, so I'm going to add features around the eyes. So the inner canthus physiologically represents the pancreas, psychologically it represents worry, and the element associated with it is earth. So the inner canthus is this corner of the eye right here bilaterally. Okay. I've heard before that if it's like has a luminous to it, a luminous light kind of to that area, that it is an indication of like psychic abilities, which I personally believe we're all capable of. We just have to hone this skill. So, but I'm sure if your pancreas isn't buried under worry, then you would be more intuitive, right? You wouldn't be so bothered by other aspects. So if you notice any darkness or discoloration, it can indicate a blood sugar imbalance. It'll also be indicated, some people have a line that goes across the nose of their bridge here that is usually a hypoglycemia or a glycemic indication for people. The upper eyelids physiologically is represented by the gallbladder. Psychologically is anger suppression or resentment, and the element is wood. So earth and wood are separate. Earth is what the trees, the wood grows out of, right? So the upper eyelids here. Okay, and you also see like bagginess on people here. So if you have hooded, like I have, experience grief and suffering that is often tied to long-standing anger issues. I've lost a lot of people in my life. We have a lot of anger issues in my family. Puffy, droopy, full gallbladder weakness, or possibly no gallbladder. Even if you have a gallbladder, an organ removed, you still have the meridians associated with that organ, okay? So even when you get acupuncture done, if you don't have a gallbladder, it doesn't mean it's irrelevant anymore. That line is still active and you can still have an effect on it through acupuncture, acupressure, any kind of meridian work. So gallbladder weakness, anger issues in female often indicates internalized anger. Gas and bloating common, and often after consuming fats and or dairy products. This side note, very important, women lose their gallbladders to an 8-to-1 ratio over men. 8-to-1 ratio. Women internalize their anger so much that they lose an organ over it. Ridiculous. We obviously need to find a way to express our anger in a positive way. Maybe not being such good girls as societal norms. If you see fatty deposits around the eyelids, that's an indication of gallstones. So if you notice, like in here, I don't have any, but if you notice any bumps or weird kind of ridges in there, those are fatty deposits and it indicates they have gallstones. The under eye here, everybody tries to cover this up with makeup because they're dark circles. Those are your kidneys. Adrenals, hypo and hypertension. Psychologically, it represents unresolved feelings or fear. Kidneys are associated with fear, okay? And the element is water, obviously. Kidneys deal with flushing out water, so make the association. If you have darkness or dark circles, shadowing, anything like that, if under both your eyes, sluggish kidney function, often referred to as kidney stagnation in traditional Chinese medicines. Common symptoms may include nighttime urination, frequent urination, joint and or low back pain, menstrual problems, prostate problems, water retention, swelling, fertility issues, and fearfulness, okay? If you have puffiness under here, it can be a kidney deficiency or a mineral imbalance. If you have it bilaterally and it's doughy, it's a possible sign of hypothyroidism, okay? Puffiness that appears under one eye only represents tears that have not been shed over unresolved feelings regarding male if it's the left side or female if it's the right side. Can have something called adrenal lines going from the corner of your eye, bridge of your nose, down your cheek line here like this. Adrenal fatigue and or insufficiency means you have endured too much stress over a long period of time and or have endured a particularly stressful event. It'll also appear here in your Fa Ling lines. You get these lines. And if they go too far down, then you've been under too much stress for too long. Same with the corner of your mouth. If it droops down, you've been under too much stress for too long, okay? The adrenal lines, often one side will be more pronounced than the other side, indicating the stress is gender specific. So again, left side is men, right side is women. A left-sided adrenal line is much more common in females, indicating stress caused by men. Surprise, surprise, the men in our life cause us stress. So you'll see a stronger fatigue adrenal line typically on the left side of the face in women, and you'll probably see more hooding in the eye for internalized anger, resentment, okay? Not to say men don't have these too, just it's more pronounced on certain people on certain sides. So unshed tears is a traditional Chinese medicine phrase. It means that a patient has unresolved feelings that they haven't cried about but probably should. Crying is a healthy, normal, and necessary way to release built-up emotions. So I remember going to Peru to do ayahuasca with a group of people, and one of the women on the trip, she's an older lady, and I'm sure if I looked at her face, from what I can recall in my memory, she was puffy and droopy here with adrenal lines. She was a counselor or psychologist of some kind, and she wailed for like an hour during one of our ceremonies, at least an hour. And if she didn't go and have a nap, I'd be surprised, because she had so much pent up over the years having to be strong for others that she had never cried and released all of that. So it wasn't just the ayahuasca, as everything else we were doing, but that just allowed her to finally break down and let it all out. And she looked 10, 20 years later. So it's incredible the emotions that we can hold in our body and for how long and how they impact our physical appearance and our health. And the saying is, have a good cry anyways, right? Don't you feel better after you have a cry? Like, you might feel terrible in the moment, you heave and snot and you just look horrific, and you may like wheeze like I do and not be able to catch your breath. And personally, I need to have a nap after I have a good cry. And after I have a nap, I wake up and I still feel a little shitty, but then there's that sigh of relief, right? I finally let that go. So don't be afraid to cry. I understand the desire for wanting to cover up dark circles under the eye. I get it. We live in a very superficial society. Do something about it. Help your kidneys, okay? Don't just cover them. It's trying to tell you something. It's important. It's not that your body hates you. It's trying to make you aware of something. So that's some stuff about the eyes. If you want to get into Brian Galke's stuff, the more, I've talked about this with the eyes before, but I'll put it in here as well. The more eyelid that you see on somebody when their eyes are open indicates if they're more of a we person or an I person. So maybe because I came from an event, I'm feeling a little bit more like a we person, but usually my eyebrow, you see about that much of my eyelids, sometimes a little less. I'm quite comfortable being on my own. I'm more of an I person. I'm happy to do things by myself. But as soon as my friends reach out and say, hey, do you want to do this? I'm like, yes, let's do that. In partnership, I very much love my partners. I love to be around them. I'm very physically needy, so I do love being around them, but I also love it when they go away for half a day, So you can see that in people too, how much they like being around other people or not. So that is the area around your eyes.